So we're gonna jump into another weird, strange, crazy. It's just stuff you should take notice of. TikTok video compilation. Let's get into it. Expand and raise, be your higher self.
Let me explain what you're looking at here. Scientists were able to restore the cellular function in pigs hours after they died. Let me explain. Yale scientists developed a pretty revolutionary system called OrganX that allows oxygen to recirculate throughout the body of the deceased. It also pumps through synthetic hemoglobin and other molecules and compounds critical in protecting cell function. After 6 hours of treatment with OrganX, scientists found that certain cellular functions were active in the pig, including heart, liver, and kidney, and some organ function had been completely restored. Scientists across the world have praised how remarkable this study is and how it demonstrates that after death, cells in mammalian organs, such as the brain, don't die for many hours. This is well past the post-mortem period we've historically assigned. So where do we go from here? The first application of this research will likely be in organ transplants. If we can preserve organs for much longer than previously thought, we can save a lot more lives. And as per the far out future, could it mean that some aspects of death could be reversible? I think it's too early to say.
This video explains why you need to understand decentralized science right now, as it very well could be the next 100x in terms of investments.
Through the development of genomic technology, but also advancements in artificial intelligence, that these combined technologies will advance medicine so fast.
So he's talking about longevity research. The one that you might most recently know, or the most recent event, is going to be the reverse aging from the eyes in mice. They cured blindness in a mouse. But the reason why we're watching through this is longevity research is coming to blockchain. Didn't know there is one thing in the world that every billionaire agrees on. They want to cure the incurable disease of aging.
I'm also here to tell you that there's been a really remarkable discovery. There is a backup copy of youth in every cell in our bodies. What does this mean for us? It means that if you see somebody who's old and frail and sick, you should not think of them as old. You should look at them as though they have a corrupted software that needs to be reinstalled.
But for some serious alpha in the decentralized science industry, DeSci is just now getting started. This above me is VitaDAO, which just went to Montenegro and met with people like Vitalik Buterin. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, just raised $40 million to start focusing on genomics and specifically reprogramming cells as mentioned in this video. Connect the dots. The DeSci sector is going to explode.
Yo, this is pretty big. Like, I know animal testing sucks, but, you know, for revolutionized findings like this, I don't know what to say. I don't know. I can't judge, you know. The man that knows everything knows he knows nothing at all. This is not to produce fear. I believe that facing your fears opens your mind to new possibilities and what's really inside and what really matters. Don't place too much stock on these meat suits and living on this plane. It could be just a game, you know? Push on to the next level. I don't think their fear will be conductive. Just curiosity, research, and awareness.
Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong. Governments have been playing with this thing.
Alleged to.
Alleged to, right.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're bringing in the laws of physics rather than simply waving our hands and uttering mumbo jumbo. We're actually using trillion-watt lasers now. And in the laboratory, sure enough, they precipitate rain out of water vapor. Sure enough, you can actually bring down electricity down the beam.
Project Veritas has obtained never-before-seen military documents regarding the origins of COVID-19, gain-of-function research, vaccines, potential treatments which have been suppressed, and the government's effort to conceal all of this. Dr. Anthony Fauci has testified many times before Congress stating that the U.S. government was never involved in gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
They gained in lethality. It's a new virus. That's not gain-of-function?
According to the definition that is currently operable.
We're not going to get anywhere close to trying to prevent another lab leak of this dangerous sort of experiment. You won't admit that it's dangerous, and for that lack of judgment, I think it's time that you resign.
That assertion is based on the NIH's definition of gain of function. However, the documents we've obtained refute that. The documents in question stem from a report at the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, better known as DARPA, which were hidden in a top-secret share drive. But what is DARPA? They are an agency under the U.S. Department of Defense, which facilitates research and technology with potential military applications. Project Veritas has obtained a separate report to the Inspector General of the Department of Defense, written by the U.S. Marine Corps Major Joseph Murphy, a former DARPA fellow. Major Murphy makes claims in his report to the Inspector General that, if true, could be damning to the official narrative that has been played out to the world over the past 2 years. Major Murphy's report states that EcoHealth Alliance approached DARPA in March 2018 seeking funding to conduct gain-of-function research of bat-borne coronaviruses. DARPA rejected the proposal because the work was too dangerous and could violate the gain-of-function moratorium, despite EcoHealth's position that it would not. According to the documents, the NIAID, under the direction of Dr. Fauci, did not reject the proposal. They went ahead with the research at Wuhan and several sites across the U.S.
So here's the question. If the Department of Defense, the same people who make our nuclear arsenal, felt this research was too dangerous to proceed with, why in the world did the NIH, NIAID, and EcoHealth Alliance recklessly disregard the risks involved?
I'm so tired of these secrets and these hidden agendas and all this. Man, that's why I make these videos, to make people aware. You know what I'm saying? What could possibly be going on, you know? But who locks up, who arrests the military? Who locks up the police? Like, who checks the checker?
Future strategic issues in 2025. I decided to just flip through it quickly to see what it was about. I was a little stunned on page 4. The presentation is based in all cases upon existing data, trends, analysis technologies, no pixie dust. And the entire premise of the document, or the PowerPoint, is about robots, cyborgs, and humans, a conflict between future and now. And I thought, what are they covering up? And that's why we're talking right now, because I think most people would be shocked to find on page 93.
So who wrote this document, and was this intentional? Did they want the public to see this, do you think? Or
the most wealthy, rich men on the face of the planet always telegraph everything that they're going to do. So the fact that it was on the NASA website, it was certainly available to the public, but did they see it? Obviously not. That's the purpose of this discussion, is for people to know about this document. Radiation frequencies against our brains, etc. Same page 93, they say exploit CNN syndrome. You can watch the movie called Psy-War. Human limitations and human downsides. Humans are too large, humans are too heavy, too tender, humans are too slow, both physically and mentally. We cost way too much money to maintain. And humans have rapidly decreasing to negative value. Can you even believe this? I mean, you're hearing this, and it's got to be rather shocking. This is the corporations' agencies. For example, on page 45, beam weapons increasingly prevalent. About on page 9, this is very interesting. They're going to direct evolution. Global elites believe that they have accomplished immortality. And they're doing that, again, keeping in mind that this entire document is about robots, cyborgs, and humans. They've already mapped our brains. We've just recently heard that they can transfer a human brain into machinery. So whenever they tell us that this is a new scientific discovery, we know it's been decades and decades prior to us ever finding out. They say that this micron-sized mechanized dust, they talk about the use of low frequencies, microwave frequencies, and they say 100% of the human population will be affected by these frequencies. Effects of frequencies and how it will be used, they acknowledge that it will interfere with our performance. We acknowledge this in this document. Well, I think the solution is that people need to become educated.
Surprisingly, not shocking that there's a book out there that basically talks about the demise of humans and how technology would do it. It's like the Matrix, but I don't know what education would do if you don't have $1 billion and can't build a bunker. Like, at this point, live your best life.
Strange things that are happening in the world. In 2025, Sun may hit Earth with a solar storm. A solar storm can create a major disturbance in Earth's magnetic field, called a geomagnetic storms, that can cause radio blackouts, power outages in satellites, cell phones, electric cars. Internet would no longer work. The number of natural disasters is increasing, like hurricanes and tornadoes. We are starting witnessing more droughts due to decrease in rainfall. Glaciers and snowpacks are melting at a faster rate than they can replenish, which resulting in significant changes in water availability for human consumption. Earth is spinning more faster than before. Every day it's moving faster and faster, and the days are getting shorter. The shortest day in history has also been recorded. The Earth's inner core has stopped spinning and may actually be reversing the direction of its rotation.
This is the most chilling thing you'll hear about 2025. Remember the time traveler who predicted the COVID-19 pandemic? They called him crazy, but you won't believe what he says happens next. Drew Curtis claims that Elon Musk and President-elect Donald Trump will have a major fallout. He says there's a near 100% chance that Trump will throw Musk under the bus. Imagine two of the most controversial figures in modern history clashing. And what happens next? Curtis warns, the Menendez brothers, yes, the infamous siblings convicted of murdering their parents, will walk free in 2025. Recent legal reviews could lead to their parole after decades behind bars. Can you imagine the chaos and fear this could unleash? And then there's the climate crisis. He says that 2025 will be the hottest year ever recorded, with the most devastating hurricane season in history. Entire cities could be destroyed. Millions of lives could be at risk. What if he's right? What if 2025 changes everything? Save this video to remember these unsettling warnings, because this can affect us all.
The most chilling prediction for 2025. You won't believe what's coming. A well-connected whistleblower has just revealed what could change everything. And if history repeats itself, we need to be ready. Remember the time traveler who predicted COVID-19 before it happened? He was mocked, but now his latest warnings are too eerily precise to ignore. Here are 3 things he predicted. Stay tuned, because the last one is going to shock you. Number 1, he says 2 of the most powerful men in modern history, Donald Trump and Elon Musk will have a catastrophic fallout. Musk controls the largest satellite network, AI, and even transportation to Mars. But what happens if Trump, set to reclaim his presidency, turns on him? Some say it could mean tech censorship, government crackdowns, or even a surveillance war. Number 2, the Menendez brothers could walk free. A legal loophole might release the infamous Menendez brothers, convicted of murdering their parents. Legal analysts say there's a real chance they'll walk in 2025. What happens if more high-profile criminals follow? Number 3, 2025 could be the year. That makes 2020 feel like a walk in the park. Scientists predict 2025 will be the hottest year in history. But it gets worse. Hurricanes stronger than ever before could wipe out entire cities. Experts warn of mass evacuations, food shortages, and failing power grids. If this is even half true, you need to be prepared. Because if 2025 is the year everything changes, you won't have time to react. Save this video, because when the time comes, you'll wish you listened.
Second time hearing this one, but first of all, I really hope Donald Trump and Elon Musk continue to get along, because that's the last thing we need is two men with that power going against each other. That's like a domestic warfare, you know what I'm saying? It's like your parents going against each other. You're like, hold up, man, you know what I'm saying? You just make the situation worse. But like I said, the only thing that we have control of is our inner world. Control the inner world, stay spiritually grounded, have deep roots with your inner world. That's all.
Nanotechnology is revolutionizing our world. Imagine clothes that clean themselves, cancer treatments that target only the bad cells, and batteries that charge in seconds. This tiny tech is unlocking huge breakthroughs, reshaping medicine, energy, and even how we live every day. The future is nano, and it's happening now.
Yeah, some good news. I like that. Anything to make life easier.
You have to check this out. Back in 2017, scientists created an exoskeleton to give superpowers to individual sperm. The device, dubbed SpermBot, was a metal-coated polymer helix that wraps around a sperm's flagella or tail, kind of like a miniature Iron Man suit. Then, when under an externally applied magnetic field, the sperm helix launches the sperm forward towards the egg for potential fertilization. Why does this matter though? A meta-analysis of nearly 43,000 men across several decades revealed a decline of more than 50% in sperm concentration. They believe this was caused by an increase in chemical and microplastic exposure, higher rates of obesity and sedentary behavior, and declining testosterone levels.
Everything the body needs.
I kind of assumed that this was a bit of a wild idea that they tried and then gave up on, but as of 2024, this research is still ongoing. From metals that bind and stiffen the flagella so that the sperm can swim more effectively, to creating artificial sperm to carry reproductive material or new medicines. In the far future, maybe it won't be the stork that brings children, it will be... If you like science and metal sperm solid, follow for more.
Totally sucks that our sperm rate is going down. But thanks to science, maybe we got some hope.
We are not in 2025. The entire calendar system is a lie. The way time is counted has changed many times in history, and no one knows for sure what year it really is. The calendar we use today was made by people, changed, and adjusted over time. It does not fully match the natural way time moves. The word month comes from moonth. It was originally based on the moon's cycle, which lasts 28 days. If we divide the total days in a year by 28, we get 13 months, not 12. This means something was changed, and we might have lost an entire month. If the way we count time was altered, then the actual year could be different from what we believe. A long time ago, people used the sky to track time. The sun showed the time of day, the moon helped count the days, and the stars marked the changing seasons. Everything in the sky moved in perfect order, helping people know when to plant, harvest, and travel. The calendar we follow today, called the Gregorian calendar, was made to organize time in a way that suited governments and rulers. The word calendar comes from calends, which was the first day of the month in ancient Rome. At that time, people had to pay their debts on calends. This means time was not just about tracking days, it was also linked to money and control. Some people believe that by changing the way time is counted, people were disconnected from nature. Instead of following the natural cycles of the sun, moon, and stars, they were put into an artificial system. This could explain why many feel out of balance without knowing why. Whether or not the real year is different from what we are told, one thing is clear. Timekeeping has been changed more than once. Knowing this might change how we see history, how we live, and how we think about time itself. What year do you think we are in? Let me know in the comments.
I always thought about stuff like that. Like, why is it the year 2000? Who said that they gonna change the time? Who had that power to change the time? And who has the power to call? And why are Caucasians and melanated people the only race called colors, like white and black? Two opposite colors on the spectrum. And you think that's not gonna create division? Like, why can't we pick another color like gold or something? Like, I'm not black. This color's black. This shirt is black. You know what I'm saying? You're not white, you're pink. You know, it's just like, why is it so ignorant? Why is it so much ignorance that we accept blindly? Just like, oh, everybody else, you know, they said it in school. The Earth's supposed to be millions of years old or something like that, according to scientists. How in the world do we get to 2,000 out of more than a million? Like, how many times has this been done? Like, who's playing with who? Like, who? It's just, it pisses me off. That wraps up another weird, strange, crazy compilation. And it's just to expand our awareness, you know? Expand your race, be your higher self, know what's going on. Be vigilant, be aware, love, like, subscribe, check out the next one. I'm gonna keep them coming.